to all of our viewers on Synergy TV, all of our viewers on the Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, all of our listeners on New 975 FM Multicultural Radio. A very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, absorb the best information that will be very helpful and instrumental to you and your loved ones. As you can tell, unfortunately, I'm not in studio this morning. I'm at another location, but conversations will go on as we continue with our commitment to inform, educate, and empower. In Master Control this morning, Ariane Malhotra and Hisham Castello. And on behalf of our team, I'd like to wish every one of you a marvelous day today. It's Monday, the 12th of June, 2023. A day and time we'll never have the opportunity to have again. I know that we have been experiencing a lot of flooding in many parts of the country, so I urge you to be extra cautious and careful. Of course, let's quickly go to our quote for today that is coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, "A helping hand can be a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day." So by extending a hand of kindness, of being, being kind to those, especially in flooding areas, that's certainly going to be a ray of sunshine on this very cloudy day, all right, and in the world. So with that being said, remember to check out Fab India Expo. They've got great deals. Lots of their containers arrive. Make it a one-stop shop for your shopping, and not forgetting to check out the food court and of course the play area. In studio this morning, let's say good morning and a very warm welcome to Mr. Chanka Ramjahal, Social Welfare Advisor, and he's going to be talking to us about the General Assistance Grant. Mr. Ramjahal, good morning, sir, and thank you so much for being there.
And a very good morning to you, Zelisa. It is my pleasure to be here this morning to share whatever knowledge and information I have to the benefit of our population. And I want to wish you, whatever your circumstances are, a very speedy recovery, my dear, and may you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your understanding. So, of course, today we're going to be talking about the General Assistance Grant, as you know, on a Monday, especially when you're there. People are concerned about many different aspects of the grant. And so today, because I'm not on location in studio, I will be entertaining WhatsApp messages. So whatever concerns you may have, I would ask you to send them via WhatsApp. That's 3847142. And I will read the messages to Mr. Ramjahal and he will address your concerns. Mr. Ramjahal, I'll let you take the lead at this time.
Okay, and then just to remind our viewing and listening public that your calls will be entertained by calling the number that is given by Zelisa. All right? Last week we started a session where we identified items that are funded under the General Assistance Grants. We dealt for many programs, the grants of old age pension, public assistance, and disability assistance. But there are many other grants available under the social welfare program. And last week, we dealt with the clothing grant, the dietary grant, and the grant for domestic help. Today, we'll be doing the education grant, the funeral grant, and the grant to assist with household items, which would come in times of any catastrophe or any damage like floods or heavy winds and things like that. So we would start.
Mr. Ramjahal,
yes.
I think that's most appropriate today because,
exactly.
as you know,
yes.
Central and South, underwater, a lot of flooding over the weekend.
Oh, that's right, Zelisa.
And a lot of livestock, furniture, things like that. people are looking for refuge with regards to having a place to stay. So I think it's very relevant for our viewers this morning.
Exactly. And what happens, Al, these flood-prone areas, our citizens in these areas, they experience it time and time again, over and over. Sometimes they experience damage, and after a few months, they sort of put themselves back in some form of order. And then 3 or 4 months again, the rain comes again, and flood happens, and the damage reoccurs. You know, that is so unfortunate. It is so frustrating.
And this is what I cannot understand, because, Mr. Ramjahal, the relevant authorities, they are aware of the existing problems with regards to flooding. And I cannot understand why, in terms of proper drainage and things of that sort to prevent flooding in such areas, have not been taken seriously.
And that is so true. Because, I mean, we know the areas that are prone to flooding, and therefore more attention and more work should be done in these areas to avoid flooding, to ease the plight of our citizens. Because when you lose your furniture and has to replace it, I mean, that is costly. Things that would cost $4,000 and $5,000 a few months ago are now costing $8,000 and $10,000. It is not fair to our citizens. It is not fair.
Children lose their school books.
That's right.
Uniforms, you know, medication is lost. People, what they took a lifetime to purchase. Some people have been taking it on terms, and it's not even theirs. They're still paying for it. You know, things like this we've got to take into consideration.
Assistance to these citizens takes such a long time. It creates a lot of hardship for these people, and you don't know until you interact with them. And the authorities are far away from them. They're not involved, so they don't know what is happening. You know, it is really, really sad. And you know, and as I start this morning, I would like to urge the Ministry of Social Development to train our officers to respond in a more timely manner, in a quicker manner, so we could ease the plight of our citizens who have been affected by flooding and other disasters. It is very unfair. It is very unkind. All right? So today we are starting with the education grant, which is, this grant is only issued to clients in receipt of public assistance where there is a child attending secondary school. All right? Any special needs associated with school attendance where government agencies are not already providing such assistance. Such needs must be verified. And of course, whenever an application is made, it is incumbent upon the authorities to verify the validity of that claim. All right? So the first grant we are dealing with is an education grant, which is issued to clients who are in receipt of public assistance where there is a child attending secondary school. The fact that you're receiving public assistance indicates that that family is experiencing some form of financial distress, and therefore any assistance that can be assist in the easing the plight of that family, and so that the children can be educated properly, is welcome. The requirements for that application is an ID card of the person applying, that's the applicant, the birth certificate, proof of enrollment in school. All right? You must have a letter from the school to validate that the child is attending school, whatever class or form that the child is in. And the education grant is provided to those children that are in need of school books and other amenities. So
what is the value of that grant?
That grant is up to $1,000, Zelisa. So
it's
that $1,000
monthly, or how does it work?
It per session, every time they apply, you know, because it would be once a year. They could apply once a year, because the child will be can be moving from one form for another, or from one class to another. All right?
Okay. So we're looking at perhaps single parents, underprivileged families, you know, who are good. I think this is excellent information this morning.
That's right.
With regards to being able to have access to education, because that is extremely important. And I'm very pleased and happy to hear this morning that there is a grant in place to help children in need, especially when it comes to education. And this is great information this morning. So the grant again, and to all of our listeners and viewers, the grant is up to $1,000. It is yearly, and of course you'll have to get the school to sign a letter stating the child is attending, and perhaps the school aware that the parents or the child in need of this grant.
And in a lot of cases, the parents or the breadwinner could be ill and receiving either public assistance or disability and so on, which cannot upkeep the house and provide the additional school requirements for these children. So, so it's a welcome grant. And you see a lot of officers are not acquainted with it.
So with that being said, I need to ask, if you have a parent, let us just say a single parent, and that parent is on disability, they cannot work, they can also apply to qualify so that their child can qualify for that grant?
Surely, Zelisa, surely. Because surely they can apply for that grant.
Brilliant. Brilliant. This is great news this morning. So I trust and hope those that are not as fortunate, you are in need of, getting that extra money to be able to send your child to school. That will help with books in a great way, so that you don't deprive your child or children of a proper education.
And you see, Izal, the disability or the public assistance and even the old age pension is geared towards the nutritional needs of the family. And with the price of grocery items these days, that's not reaching as far as it used to a few months ago. And therefore, that the education grant would come in handy to assist the family, to prepare themselves for life.
Well, I want to say that I'm quite pleased to know that this grant is there, and our citizens can now take advantage with regards to helping themselves, because as we all know, as you just indicated, we are experiencing a lot of families are experiencing financial problems. I mean, it's very difficult. If you have to go privately, even to a doctor, it can take even to the thousands of dollars after you attend the doctor and buy medication. That's a fact. And not many people have that. I mean, there are lots of people who, especially single parents, who are struggling. And now to know that they could get this extra assistance in terms of just being able to purchase books. Because if you use the system correctly, because some of the schools do provide lunches, at least your child will get a lunch at school. And now being able to have this extra $1,000 to help with their school supplies. This is extremely great information this morning.
And it is welcome, Zelisa, because it is a child has to be properly supplied with the necessary books and so on for them to do well at school. We know that.
Certainly, for them to be able to follow through
and do their homework and do their extra studies. That's right.
And to be empowered with what is being taught in class. You need to have the proper books in order to to be able to perform and achieve. If you don't have it, then that takes away half of the process. So it is important that now your children can get some sort of assistance with their books and school supplies.
Yes.
And I welcome this good news this morning. This is the program Conversations with Zelisa. I'm in conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramjahal, who's a social welfare advisor. Mr. Ramjahal has served this land for many years, so he's been part of the system. He understands and knows exactly, how the system can work, assist, and help. We're going to take a short break at this time, go into some of our commercials. When we return, we continue our conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramjahal, Social Welfare Advisor. Stay with us.
Fab India Expo is having a massive blowout sale. New containers just arrived. All new goods at the Fab India Expo. Get the best deals on new arrivals. We've got new stocks available. Footwear, clothing, jewelry, furniture, home decor and so much more. Visit the best of the best. Get delicious items at our food court direct from India. Shop, eat and repeat. Lots of fun at Fab Mania Arcade. All under one roof. Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. Open daily, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Closing on June 12th.
Super Quality Supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trinity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome to OATS, Optimal Alternative Treatment Solutions Limited, the future of healthcare, which provides full body scans, which we detect and treat cancer, tumors, all heart conditions, cysts, fibroids, dementia, Parkinson's, just to name a few. No radiation and medication is not needed. If you are tired of getting no results, call us at 354-4459 or 356-7226.
We are back. Sal?
Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. This morning we're in conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramjahal, who's a social welfare advisor, and he's here this morning to advise us on the different grants. In our opening segment, he indicated, I think, and I felt very pleased to know that there is an existing grant to assist those less fortunate with regards to ensuring that their children get the education that is needed, that is a must. That was very pleasing to hear, and I'm sure it's great knowledge for all those now who are less privileged can say, okay, I can now apply to get some sort of assistance with school supplies for their children. Mr. Ramjahal, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Zal.
So we're going to go into another grant at this time.
Our second item this morning will be household items. This grant can be assessed by needy persons and by those who are victims of man-made or natural disasters to purchase household items such as stove, refrigerators, and furniture items. It can be assessed only once in a 3-year period. All right? So the items for household items especially, and that is so applicable at the present time because of the heavy rains and the possible flooding and possible damage to households, Zelisa. All right?
Right.
And so...
Now you said something that is, I just want clarity and a little further understanding. Once in 3 years.
Yes.
Which means if someone was affected by flooding, let's say, remember just last Christmas, a couple months ago, we had severe flooding, right?
Yes.
If they were affected and they applied, it means that they don't qualify to apply now?
Well, I assume if it happens a second time, you will be entitled to apply, and I could make representation for that.
Okay,
yes.
Understood.
Yeah. Because it says the grant can be assessed by needy persons and those who are victims of man-made disasters or natural disasters. And if the government will not do enough to avoid flooding and things like that, I mean, it's only fair that people are compensated. They cannot be expected to just replace items just by that. And when you do not have the resources, you do without a refrigerator and things like that. So, I think something has to be done.
Because the fact is, let's face it, we do have corporate Trinidad that will step in and say, all right, we want to help.
Yeah.
You do have private citizens who are
Also,
very kind and good
that's
and
right.
giving, and they step up. And I mean, and I am witness to that when we had the last flooding.
That's right.
You know, we had hundreds of people, you know, assisted us, and we couldn't do it without the citizens of this land.
That's right.
But how many times would the citizens be able to step up and say they can help?
Exactly.
Because there's, you follow what I'm
Yes,
saying, especially when you have disaster after disaster. in terms of
Definitely.
flooding.
Yeah.
So my point is, it is important then that the relevant authorities have some sort of something in place to help such citizens who need help.
And we have some areas, Zelisa, that are designated as flood-prone areas. And more attention should be paid by the authorities to see how best we can correct these situations to avoid the hardship faced by our citizens, you know. So
Correct.
that, yes.
That's where proper infrastructure and, you know, planning and things like that, drainage and things like that, extremely important.
But in recent times, you know, when we expect help to be forthcoming, nothing is forthcoming, and more people are distressed, either if not as flood, or some other, you know, disaster, you know, and people have to wait months and months for some form of response, and which is very unsatisfactory, very, very unsatisfactory, especially with flooding. The same areas that are prone to flooding, they are the ones who are affected with every season of heavy rain.
So I just want to remind all of our listeners, all of our viewers, that you can send your WhatsApp messages, whatever messages you may have, whatever concerns you may have regarding the social welfare. You're free to send me a WhatsApp message at 384-7142. That's 384-7142. Just send me the message. I will read it to Mr. Ramsahal, and he will try his best to, you know, answer those questions or concerns you may have. So far this morning we've learned about the grant. You could get up to $1,000 with regards to school supplies for your children. And now we're learning of the grants with regards to flooding and natural disasters. All right? Now, how can you tell us what process in terms of how do those affected by flooding, how do they apply, what do they do, what are the measures and the steps that are needed?
Right. The response to flooding and the grants that are available are usually handled by the Social Welfare Department, which is that department under the Ministry of Social Development. And we have offices located throughout Trinidad and Tobago, so depending on what area you live, there is a specific office that you would need to go to. All right?
Good. I just want to I'm getting calls. So
Yes.
I need to remind our listeners and our viewers that we are not taking live calls today because I'm not on location in studio. So you can send your WhatsApp messages. You can send me a WhatsApp message, 3847142, 3847142, and I will read the message to Mr. Ramsahal. But I'm not taking live calls because I'm not live in studio. I'm at another location. So just for the better understanding, because I know people are calling me and I want you to understand I'm not taking the calls, but rather send us a WhatsApp message and I will read it to Mr. Ramsahal, and he will be happy to address those questions or concerns that you may have. So go right ahead, please.
Right. And the third grant that we would discuss today is the medical equipment grant, which provides
Medical equipment
grant.
Talk to us about this.
Under this grant, needy persons can qualify for wheelchairs, commodes, special beds, dentures, etc. All right? And a grant of $7,500 is available for that process. And the requirement will be ID card.
Give us some details. This is interesting.
Yes.
So please give us full details, because you have people in our country, and why are people calling me? I am saying to don't call me on the phone. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Good. $7,500. We're talking about another grant here.
That is available.
Will help those wheelchairs,
commodes,
special desks that are needed.
Yes,
commodes,
right. And dentures, even dentures.
Dentures, and yeah, okay, good.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
And
give us some details on this, because I'm sure those that are listening, there are people that will have to throw a barbecue.
Yes.
Or have to throw a curry cube, or have to be begging everybody in the community to help to buy a bed or a wheelchair. They're pleading to NGOs to help them, when now this grant is available and they could be aware of it. Excellent information this morning.
Yes. And the requirements to apply for that grant would be your ID card, an estimate from the supplier, and your medical records. A medical will indicate from the DMO or from the doctor at the hospital, indicating that provision of this item would assist in the comfort and the of this client, you know, endorsing the need for whatever equipment that they are applying for. All right, and the grant is up to $7,500, and it is to improve your comfort. So that is what the medical grant.
Excellent news.
It is.
I'm really elated to know that we could share this information this morning, so that people who are not aware are now aware of grants that are available for them, and they've just got to do what is right and be genuine about it and take advantage of it, so it can help them to live in a little more comfort, you know, especially those that are ill, those that are ailing and need such items
available for their comfort.
Right.
Yes.
Good. So again, 3847142. Any questions, any concerns? And I'm going to read it. Good morning, sir. I would like to get help for my children for their education. So to this person that sent this message, yes, you can qualify. Mr. Ramsahal, perhaps you could just reiterate, please just re-explain a little bit more about the grant to help with children, the education of our children. Can you please, go through that again? Right.
We have 2 grants under the social welfare program to assist children in school. We have the education grant, where the grant is issued to clients in receipt of public assistance where there is a child attending secondary school. So if you are already receiving public assistance or old age pension, it indicates some measure of hardship in the home. And therefore, to supply the books and other items for the child's education clearly will be an additional burden to the family. And that's why this grant is available to assist children with the purchase of books and other items for their attendance at school. All right, it's called an education grant.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to go to another question that came in. Hi, good morning. I have 3 grandsons, and their mother left them with their dad. He is working, but it's very difficult to financially support them completely. I myself try to assist as much as I can, and I'm asking if Mr. Ramjahal can assist with a food card or some sort of financial assistance via a grant. I'm very happy to learn of the education grant, and I will be looking into this for sure. Thank you so much. So to this person, this viewer, or this caller, that listener rather, that's either looking or listening to the program and sent in this message, this is a either it's a grandmother or grandfather whose grandsons are left in the care of their father alone. And Mr. Ramjahal, especially to this father who is a single parent with 3 sons, I am sure that he will, take advantage now of the education grant. And are there any other grants, for instance, that he's a single parent with 3 sons? Like this person asked about a food card or some sort of other assistance. Now, we've got to take a short break, but when we return, Mr. Ramjahal, I'd like you to particularly address this family, and I'm sure there are many other families in this very same
Similar
situation
situations.
that will be waiting eagerly to hear what you have to say, how they can get assistance, other assistance as well. All right?
Will do,
so let's
Zelisa.
go to this break. At this time, when we return, Mr. Ramjahal will address this last question, and I'm sure you all will be waiting in anticipation for the answers as well. Let's go to these messages.
Visit Agri Savers Limited, number 19 Orange Grove Trace, St. Augustine, for all your agriculture, livestock, pet, agri-equipment, hydroponics, cannabis, fishing tackle supplies, and much more. Open Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Contact 473-6074, 663-1094. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Tile Expression Limited, the #1 leader in tiles. Large stock, unbeatable prices, wide variety of porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, wall and floor tiles, residential and commercial, granite and quartz countertops. Best quality from Spain, Italy, Brazil, India and China. Tile Expression Limited, conveniently located Monroe Road, Kunapir. Telephone 693-0015 or 223-TILE. Passage to Asia, the award-winning restaurant and banquet suite located in the heart of Chaguanas, the best fusion food restaurant in Trinidad and Tobago. From the second you enter to the moment you leave, you will be treated like royalty. Come, dine in luxury and enjoy the finest combination of Asian cuisine prepared by skilled and qualified chefs at Passage to Asia. The experience is truly unforgettable, perfect for families, couples, and large groups. Passage to Asia, located at St. Ives Street, Chaguanas. Contact 672-2701. Also, visit us on Facebook and Instagram.
We're back.
Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa. I'm in conversation this morning with Mr. Shankar Ramjahal, Social Welfare Advisor, who's here to tell us about grants that are available. Mr. Ramjahal, welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much,
For the
Zelisa.
benefit of the last question that I asked, I'm going to repeat the question to you, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
And it says, hi, good morning. I have 3 grandsons. And their mother left them with their father. He is working, but it's very difficult to financially support them completely. I myself try to assist as much as I can, and I'm asking if any assistance with a food cart or some sort of financial assistance via a grant. I'm very happy to learn of the education grant, and we'll be looking into this for sure. Now, during the break, Mr. Ramjahal, I was chatting with this lady as well, and it's a grandmother, and the boys are in primary school. So just for clarity for this grandmother and to other mothers, fathers that need this sort of assistance, and what she's also saying is that traveling alone to get to and from school is $800. So, it's really very difficult. So I would like you to address whether, so for clarity and understanding, because I don't want people to think, well, the grant is only for secondary school children. Can you give us some idea as to whom can qualify with regards to whether it's primary school and secondary school, or, could you please explain, sir?
All right. And when we refer to it as an education grant, it includes primary school and secondary school. Because, you must have proper uniform even if you're in primary school. So, of course, assistance will be required in instances. What would happen there? Well, we know that the country is divided into local boards, meaning areas of operations. So depending on where that family is living, I suggest that the father of the children, who will have to be the primary caregiver, he would have to visit one of the office in his area and speak to an officer on duty, let them know of the difficulties you are having, and they will do an assessment and see if you qualify for whatever grant, even if it's a food card to assist with the purchase of foodstuff for the children. All right?
Right.
So they have to visit an office in their area, speak to an officer on duty, and see what, depending on the information that is available, they will make a decision whether he qualifies for something. It could be a food card to assist with the purchase of food or otherwise.
Excellent. So that's great information there.
Yes.
Okay. Another question. My sister's common-in-law husband passed recently. Is she entitled to funeral grant or widow's grant? He died in January of this year and they were together for over 10 years. He had cancer. What do you say to this person, Mr. Ramtahal?
He could apply for, she could apply for a funeral grant on his behalf, either from national insurance. Once he would have contributed at least 25 contributions, he would be entitled for a funeral grant from national insurance. If she's entitled to that, she would not be entitled to the one from social welfare. If he doesn't qualify for that one, she could apply to the social welfare department for a funeral grant based on his funeral expenses.
Okay, excellent. Another question. Good day. Can pensioners apply for these grants or only public assistance? And I think this is a question I was about to ask with regards to pensioners still applying for the other grants. I think people are now very concerned about if they're receiving pension, would they then qualify for other grants?
Right. These grants were mainly geared towards food upkeep, your upkeep. It was not intended to cover other expenses, because you know these are minimal grants. These are minimal grants, especially now where prices have gone up on every item. So that
right.
Your pension and your public assistance is geared towards food, your main staple. So it was intended for that, and therefore things like clothing. That's why they have additional grants like clothing grant, because they know the normal public assistance or pension grant cannot cover all your expenses. You have traveling expenses, you have clothing grant, you have assistance for wheelchairs and things like that. So the major grants are geared towards your upkeep, your maintenance of your children and yourself. So that's why they have additional grants to cover other possible expenses.
Good. And I'm just reminding all of our listeners and our viewers, please do not call this morning. Send a WhatsApp message to 3847142. That's 3847142. WhatsApp messages only. Good morning, sir. I would like to get help for my children for their education and food cards. So again, people are sending out messages with regards to people are now aware that, look, I could get a grant for my children to help with their food supplies. And I'm now concerned about food cards as well. Yeah?
And,
all right.
And Zelisa,
Hi, Zelisa. I was getting public assistance and widow's benefits. I applied for pension since October last year. This month they gave me $950. They said I have to pay back that money. Thank you. Can you advise this person, sir?
Right. When you become 65, you qualify for old age pension. You are entitled to old age pension. But what happens in some instances where the family is in dire need, while they are waiting the processing of their old age pension, the other assistance continues to assist them, to keep them, you know, with some funds in their hands. When the pension is granted, the funds that were extended, because the other funds were supposed to stop when you reach 65. So the funds that you receive after 65 have to be refunded based on your old age pension grant. And that was
Okay.
extended to you so that you wouldn't face extreme hardship with no money to buy anything while you're waiting on your pension grant. Okay?
You know, people do not understand. I'm saying, please do not call me this morning. If you want to have a question, get in on the program, then you've got to send a WhatsApp message. Send messages only to 3847142. I'm going to go to another question, sir.
Yes.
A great morning, Zelisa and Mr. Chankahal. A beautiful program. My husband applied for pension. It's a year, and no one came to our house as yet. And also, he visited 3 offices 3 times since. We are from Arima, and he visited Chunapuna's office. This was done since last year. Thank you. What do you say to this person, sir?
Zal, that division, that the social welfare division is in a complete mess at this time. Only the few offices are really operating very efficiently. What would take 6 and 8 months and over a year to determine an old age pension claim? I cannot understand that. I cannot understand that. And the level of supervision has to be, you must query the level of supervision. When I was a supervisor, I would ask, why is this case not done yet? Why is this case not done yet? You know?
Yeah.
It should not take 8 and 9 months and over a year. That is terrible. You're creating hardships to our citizens. Something must be done. I know the director of that division is on suspension, but something else could be put in place, you know, to ensure that our citizens do not suffer extreme hardship.
And that's exactly what is happening.
It is.
People are, because of the incompetence of whatever is happening in the offices with regards to having someone there to lead. When you have no leader, no head of something, of course it's going to shatter and have...
Go astray, that's right, yes.
So I can't understand why a replacement or at least a substitute at this time until this situation or the matter has been rectified. This is something that is of urgent and in the need of the citizens of our land. And
Clearly.
I'm asking the listeners and again, please don't call this morning. You can send your WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp messages only. Guys, can I get my director, those guys in production to put up WhatsApp messages only, 3847142.
It will be done.
Mr. Ramsahal,
Yes.
Sorry sir, go right ahead please.
It will be done. The message will go on screen to ask our viewers and listeners to WhatsApp messages only. All right.
Yeah, Mr. Ramsahal, again, you know, the question and the burning problem here is perhaps we can get you as an advocate to stand up and say, well, let's get a substitute, let's get somebody to stand in and fill that position in the meantime until that particular situation has been rectified. But what's happening is that the price, the citizens are paying the price of that incompetence.
And also, Zelisa, you know, national insurance benefits, the age for applying is now moving to 65. It has to be moved to 65. All right? And they are taking so long to implement that, and in the meantime, claims are not being processed on a timely basis. So, national insurance too is adding its share of discomfort and inconvenience to our citizens. We paid for that. And that has an impact.
We get to this question
Yes.
before our next break, and it says, good day. How long does it take for your pension to be approved once you submitted all your documents? Can you advise this person, please?
Excellent question. But the answer is, we don't know. We don't know. It is not supposed to take more than 3 or 4 months. Unfortunately, we are hearing it's taking 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, and things like that. Because that department is in total chaos at this time. And the director, the head of the department, is on suspension with no information as to when he'll be back or who is taking his responsibilities.
Okay, so what is important is that to answer that particular question, it should be no more than 3 months. It should be within 3 months. However, because of the given situation, with what's happening internally, we don't have an answer for you, but it should take no more than 3 months, all right? With that being said, let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramdahal. He's a social welfare advisor. I am pleading with our listeners and our viewers, no calls today, but we are entertaining your WhatsApp messages. Send a WhatsApp message. I'll read it to Mr. Ramdahal and he will respond. Thank you so much for understanding. Let's go to these messages. Stay with us.
Fab India Expo is having a massive blowout sale. New containers just arrived. All new goods at the Fab India Expo. Get the best deals on new arrivals. We've got new stocks available. Footwear, clothing, jewelry, furniture, home decor and so much more. Visit the best of the best. Get delicious items at our food court direct from India. Shop, eat and repeat. Lots of fun at Fab Mania Arcade. All under one roof. Fab India Expo. Located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. Open daily, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Closing on June 12th.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Hello, Crime Stoppers?
This is Crime Stoppers. Please share only your crime information.
I want to report a crime, but I need to make sure it will not be traced back to me.
Caller, I assure you, there's no record of this call other than the information you give us and the tip number I assign you for you to call back and check on your reward. This system has worked in 26 countries for more than 40 years.
Help stop crime. Call Crime Stoppers at 800 TIPS today. Calls are safe and 100% anonymous.
We're back.
Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa. I'm Zelisa and I'm in conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramdahal, Social Welfare Advisor. And just a gentle reminder to all of our listeners, all of our viewers, you can send WhatsApp messages only 38474142. Mr. Ramdahal, welcome back, and we're going to go straight into questions. Hi, good morning. If I live in Tunapuna and I now live in Karani, but I still carry the Tunapuna's address, will I have a problem in getting my pension when I reach 65? Mr. Ramdahal?
The answer is no, because if you're now living in Karani, you would make your application with your Karani address, which would fall either at the Tunapuna office or at the Shogunas office. She has to clarify exactly where she lives.
Okay, excellent. So that person will now follow the instructions of Mr. Ramdahal.
Right.
But the thing is, the person still has the address as Tunapuna. Although they're now living in Karani, the address is still at Tunapuna. You are suggesting that they change the address to Karani?
Part of Karani falls in the Shogunas district, and the other part of Karani falls in the Tunapuna district. So she has to be clear as to which area her address falls.
Okay, excellent.
You know, in some instances, one side of the road belongs to one area, and the other side belongs to another office.
So this person had asked about NIS, why NIS, putting them through such a long form. We're not talking about NIS today, that's national insurance. Today we are talking about social welfare and grants that are available. There are thousands of citizens in this country that were not aware of other grants until today. And this applies for both citizens in Trinidad and Tobago, because we do have a wide listenership and viewership in Tobago. So to all of our citizens in Tobago, I need you to know you also qualify for these other grants as well. Okay? It's important that we educate the public. Part of what we do at Conversations is ensuring that people get the right education. Knowledge is power. So now that they know about these extra grants, they can apply, and you know it's there for their benefit. It's been there, put in place for their benefit. And very too often, these grants are only being used by the people who work in the, who are aware of the grant, and not the general public, and that is really very sad.
It is. It is. You see, and a lot of officers see making this known to the public is much more work for them. But that's why you are paid. That's why you take the job, so that you should be happy to assist people.
And it's not just there for their personal friends and their family
That's right.
members alone.
That's right.
Why it's happening.
Yeah.
People complain all the time. So only a certain portion of the citizens are aware of it and are using it, and then others who genuinely need it are not aware of it, and that's why the authorities, I mean, thank God for this program that we continue to educate people and to let them know about these other grants and different things.
And that is so true, Zelisa.
Hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you, sir,
Yes,
for
thank you.
partnering with us and highlighting these things, so now the general public will be aware.
That's right. I worked in a department, and officers, you would see as additional work to tell persons what they're entitled to. They see it as extra work, and that is so sad. And you know, these people are misfits from the beginning if they see that as work, because you are paid to assist these, to help people with whatever is available to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there are several grants that are available, and I will continue to highlight these grants that are available to members of the public in Trinidad and Tobago.
So great. Today you spoke about, for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers, I'd like you to quickly review the 3 grants that you spoke about today, so that they now have knowledge of these grants that are available, and this is what we'll be doing weekly as well, highlighting other grants that will be able to assist the general public, the citizens of this land. So for the benefit of our viewers and our listeners, sir, I'd like you to please recap the 3 grants that you spoke to us today about.
Right. We spoke of the medical equipment grant. We spoke of the education grant, and we spoke of the funeral grant and household items. All right, so these grants are available to us.
We spoke about the natural disasters grant with regards to flooding and things like that.
Yes, that's right.
Excellent.
Yes.
So it's important now you are aware of, one, the education grant that your children or grandchildren, those who are genuinely in need of it, can now apply for it. And of course, you could do that via, you'll have to get an authorization letter from the school as well, indicating that yes, XYZ is attending the school and in need of such grants to assist with books and supplies and things like that. We also have the grants for flooding and natural disasters that you can now go and apply for. And I think one that's extremely important as well
is the medical equipment.
That a lot of people were not aware of is that
medical equipment grant. That's right.
That would give you that extra
mobility
cash up to 7,500 that can assist with that special bed or that special wheelchair or your dentals or medical equipment.
The commodes,
You know, that some people who are less fortunate cannot afford will now be able to at least have some sort of assistance by applying to those relevant. Yeah?
Yes. And I can tell you.
This is information that you could also go into the offices and ask about, so they could give you full details on how to move forward.
That's right. Because a lot of people out there, can utilize these grants, but they are not aware of it. They are not aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me read this question, sir. And it says, hi, if you were receiving a disability grant, but it stops as soon as you receive NIS pension, when you reach 65 and go to apply for government pension, do you have to do over an application, or could the officer use the disability application for you? I don't understand. Yeah. Could you explain that, sir?
That's an excellent question, Zelisa. To qualify for any grant, you must make an application. If you reach 65, it is not automatic. You must fill out a claim form for your old age pension. And it is advisable you do it the month of your 61st birthday. Because if you're 65 in June and you apply in June, then you qualify from July. If you're 65 in June and you apply in July, then you qualify from August. So you lose. You have to apply in the month of your 65th birthday. Okay? It is not automatic. And what is this gentleman used to receive national insurance and receiving disability, which he was not entitled to. Once your income exceeds $1,000 per month, you do not qualify for disability. And he would have been receiving $3,000 national insurance from 60, so that he is supposed to pay back the amount of disability that he received for that period. Okay?
Okay, understood.
Yes.
Perhaps we could take one more question before we wrap things up. We've got a couple of minutes left. Let's see any more questions or concerns at this time. Others are coming but not relevant to what we're speaking about today. A lot of people are asking about national insurance, and today we did not discuss national insurance. We're talking about the social welfare grant. Mr. Ramzahal, I would ask you at this time to perhaps your closing remarks.
Right. Just to make a point about national insurance, Zelisa. The age for national insurance to contribute to has to go up to age 65, and that's why people are being held back to receive their national insurance benefits. Okay. Having said that, it was my pleasure to be here this morning to assist our members of the viewing and listening public with whatever issues they may encounter. I hope that the information provided here would have assisted you in some form or fashion, and I wish you a very happy day and a meaningful day, and please stay away from the inclement weather. Until next week, all the best.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. I appreciate this very much. I also thank you kindly for all that you do and you continue to do. May God bless you, and we look forward to you joining us very soon.
Next week is a holiday, Zal.
Yes, it is a public holiday.
Next week, Monday.
Go into a long weekend again.
Yes.
But so with that being said, I'm going to put things in place for you to be joining us next week. All the best to you, sir. God bless.
Yes. Thank you very much. All the best to you.
Thank you. I just want to gently remind all of our listeners and our viewers, we do have a repeat of this program today at 3 o'clock. I know the information was quite relevant and very beneficial to many of you. Please take advantage of it and be good, be safe, stay out of the rain. If you have no reason being on the outdoors, then stay indoors and be safe. For those, that are experiencing some sort of flooding, contact the nearest office when it comes to social welfare, and you very well could apply for a grant, and it could be of assistance to you and your loved ones. Be safe, be happy. Here's reminding you that with God, all things are possible. Thank you so much for choosing us, and, please respect the law of the land. Stay with us. Great programming continues. U975 FM, Multicultural Radio. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a great day.